For the past 48 hours, the Bitcoin community has been rejoicing, feeling like there's been a big victory, and we're in a situation right now where mass adoption is coming and everyone's going to buy Bitcoin because nobody buys Bitcoin. It's always like the thought, right? That not enough people buy Bitcoin. Today, I'm going to share with you some really compelling numbers that's going to show you that mass adoption has already happened for Bitcoin. Yes, it has. You might be thinking, no, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Oh, yes. I'm going to show you some numbers that you compare Bitcoin to some other commodities. Mass adoption has already happened. Something else I want to share with you guys is the details of this PayPal opening a cryptocurrency exchange, essentially. That's what it is. That is what it is. Crypto exchanges. I want to lead off with this. Anything crypto related as far as exchange goes are cash cows. They are. And that's why so many people try to open them, whether it's a spot exchange, a leverage exchange, or now decentralized exchanges. They are very cash rich. And the truth be told, anybody can open an exchange. Anyone can. You can have little knowledge, I mean very little knowledge of cryptocurrency, and be in a position to where you can open an exchange. There's tools that make it easy. I'm going to show that to you. But the reason why it's so easy is because it's cash heavy. Lots of money to be made. And I feel the primary purpose for PayPal doing this is because they want to cash in on that. But we're going to talk about some other things as far as PayPal opening this exchange that maybe you haven't thought about, which I'm going to share with you today as well. Now, if you guys would do me a giant favor and smash the like button. If I get 1,000 likes on any video, I'm going to do a giveaway, okay? A Bitcoin giveaway, always generous. I'm very generous. The holidays are coming, so I want to give away some cryptocurrency. So smash the like button, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button. But right now, we're seeing that the price of Bitcoin pushed over $13,000. And a lot of people are saying it's because of the news of PayPal. Now, me personally, if I feel like that is the reason why the price of Bitcoin has went over $13,000, I'm a little troubled. I'm a little bit troubled because of, well, let's think about this for a second. And let's take a trip back in time. Do you guys remember October 31st, 2017, okay? This is all pertinent information. If you weren't around for this, you need to see this because this kind of put a lot of things in perspective for you. But on October 31st, 2017, the rumors were solidified. It was official. CME Group announces launch of Bitcoin futures. When this announcement happened and all the rumors, because there was a big rumor, it was going around for about a month and a half to 2 months before this announcement that there was going to be some sort of institutional products for Bitcoin. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone's like, yes, we need institutional involvement. When this announcement came out, everybody assumed that the price of Bitcoin was going to hit $100,000. Everybody assumed that billions upon billions of dollars was going to flow into Bitcoin. Everybody assumed that 5 to 10% of institutional portfolios were going to go into Bitcoin. Well, let me tell you what happened. The CME Group's Leo Malamed said, we'll tame Bitcoin. And to be more specific about it, this is his word for word what he says. We will regulate, make Bitcoin not wild, nor wilder. We'll tame it into a regular type instrument of trade with rules. And this is exactly what happened. It did, and as far as the 5 to 10% of portfolios coming into Bitcoin, it actually did happen. A lot of institutions actually poured that kind of amount of money into Bitcoin, but they didn't buy the actual physical Bitcoin. They bought the derivative Bitcoin, which was used against the actual physical Bitcoin. And in 2018, what was going on? The OTC market was wild. Billions upon billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin was brokered. And most of this Bitcoin bought by none other than banks. So all of us praying and hoping for that institutional involvement and the institutions taking the price of Bitcoin to the moon so we could all be rich and we could all buy Lambos and houses and everything else didn't happen. It didn't happen the way we thought it was going to happen. It did happen though. Billions of dollars has rolled into Bitcoin. It absolutely has, but more so in the derivative side. Wall Street's in there. They're making more products for Bitcoin. Today is 2020. It is 2020, October 22nd, 2020. The price of Bitcoin is what? Right about $13,000. And the reason I am putting this out there, is I want to put some things in perspective for you guys when we talk about things like PayPal. One must remember, the CME, whenever they went live, okay, when the CME went live, the one thing that happened that nobody saw coming, because this is not a world that none of us ever played in, was the United States SEC, the United States IRS, the CFTC. Name the acronym, started sending subpoenas to all the exchanges around the world. And what is so frustrating was that was actually common knowledge when it happened. Like everyone was talking about it when everyone found out they were sending subpoenas for information from the exchanges. And the information they sought was their trading data. They wanted to know their trading data. And trading data started getting in more into personal data. Who's this? Do you have American citizens? It just got really ugly. And then the other entity that got involved once they started acquiring that data was chain analysis. Chain analysis worked with the CME, the IRS, the SEC, and the CFTC with all these subpoenas and the data from all these exchanges to start road mapping the cryptocurrency world. Basically wallets, identifying who owns what wallet, identifying people. That was the goal, is to identify people and identify wallet information, wallet transactions, and wallet trades with people. So let's fast forward down to PayPal. PayPal is telling everyone, hey, you can use our Venmo app and we can go ahead and trade crypto, so on and so forth. Excellent. The KYC behind that, the AML behind that, how many of you crypto OGs are actually going to use that? That's my serious question. How many of you crypto OGs are going to use that? You know, Square, remember Square with their Cash App where people can buy Bitcoin on there? When it first rolled out, right, no crypto OGs really used it that much, okay? No one really used it because there's a KYC element. But those who are new to the space, I'm going to hit you with something that no one ever talks about. Those who are new to Bitcoin started using the Square Cash App to buy Bitcoin, got hit with a 1099K, or I think it's a 1099K for their Bitcoin transactions, and they freaked the out, okay? They're like, what is this? Well, I didn't know this was part of the deal. This is Bitcoin. They had to pay taxes on that. They had to report their taxes. It's just insanity. So it scared a lot of those people away. Same thing's going to happen with Venmo. A lot of people are going to get into it because like, oh, wow, I have Venmo. Oh, wow, I use PayPal. Oh, wow, this is convenient. They're going to slap that 1099K. It's going to scare them away because they're not prepared or not fully understanding what they're getting into. PayPal's going to make a ton of money. But the thing that chaps me the most about this news, really, the thing that really chaps me the most about this news is the fact that chain analysis and the IRS are going to get more information. That is exactly what's going to happen. PayPal is going to give additional information to these entities in order to roadmap ownership. And that's very, very frustrating. Because you see, I feel like we thought first it was big banks that were going to make us rich. And now we're thinking, oh, it's going to be big business. When the big business adoption comes in, we're all going to be rich. The price of Bitcoin's going to go through the roof. It's going to moon. I'm going to have a Lambo. But that is not the truth. Because the more big businesses, the more big banks, and the more big government that we invite into our space, the smaller and smaller and smaller and more insignificant we become. Those who have supported this from the very first inning, from the very, very beginning, through its growing pains. Us, we, the crypto people, the community, we are the ones who are going to get weeded out. And I'm telling you, if you look at what crypto is doing right now, it's happening slowly, like little by little by little. And you have to think about all the innovations and technologies where this has happened. Let's start off with the internet. You remember the internet when it first came out, when it was really first adopted, especially in the 90s and everyone was really getting the internet? It was thought to be this free world, this free digital world that belonged to the people who contributed to it. That's what the internet initially was. As time went on, the internet basically is governed. It's owned by government. How it operates, what can operate, who can operate in some cases, is all determined by government. That was also taken away from us. If you look at things that actually utilize the internet as well, YouTube, the platform you're on right now watching this video. When YouTube first came out, it was about freedom for creators, freedom for people to put out whatever they wanted. For a long time period, everyone thought, oh, if we bring in advertisers, we can all make money for our efforts. And guess what happened? Those big businesses ended up taking over YouTube and changed what YouTube is. YouTube is nothing like it was 10 years ago. Absolutely nothing like it was 10 years ago. And that is because we let in big business. Now, many of you guys right now might be thinking, listen, the PayPal news is good because of mass adoption. And like I said in the beginning of the video, mass adoption has already happened. And if you really take a few steps back and be honest with yourself, everything needed for mass adoption already exists. Coinbase, okay? Everybody knows what Coinbase is. During 2017, Coinbase wallets opened like crazy. Through 2018, 2019, and 2020, more people have been opening Coinbase wallets. Coinbase, mass adoption. Gemini Exchange, mass adoption. And Gemini is actually, in my opinion, better than Coinbase in a lot of ways. I think Coinbase is extremely crazy expensive. We also have Square, the Cash App, like I already mentioned that. That right there is something used by a lot of people who don't even have bank accounts, okay? It's like banking the unbanked through the Cash App. A lot of mass adoption right through there. So I feel that argument, the argument of mass adoption, that PayPal, because it has so many users, I feel that argument is pretty null and void. It really is, because everything you need for mass adoption is already there. And you might be saying to me right now, thinking to yourself, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just an idiot. You're just a YouTuber. Let me show you the numbers, because what we know is the numbers don't lie, right? According to Gold IRA Guide, okay, according to this right here in this survey, the survey reveals 12% of American population owns gold, while 14.7% owns silver. Now, gold has been something people could buy for a very, very long time. Same thing with silver, especially in the 1900s, as we left the gold standard and kind of seen that gold was always the place to go to when things went bad for the economy, right? Since the 1970s, buying gold became a whole different world, because remember, we left the gold standard. So we have a long hundreds of years, thousands of years, actually, even be technical, of us buying gold and precious metals like silver, okay? So 12% of Americans and 14.7% own silver. We can call that safely mass adoption, right? According to a recent study, okay, a recent study here, 11% of Americans own Bitcoin. Major awareness increase since 2017. 11% of Americans own Bitcoin. And there's a huge difference, mind you, of the Americans who own gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Because when you own Bitcoin, 11% of Americans own Bitcoin, majority of those are people that own actual Bitcoin, code-based Bitcoin. Small percentage of that are people that own the derivative Bitcoin. Whereas with gold and silver, it's the exact opposite situation, to where majority of those people that have ownership are own the derivative. They don't own the physical gold. They own derivatives. So if you tell me right now that this is not mass adoption, that this cannot be classified as mass adoption by those who are interested in investment tools, because remember, Bitcoin is no longer looked at as a currency. If you were to tell me Bitcoin currency adoption, I'd tell you we're way far behind. But nobody wants to look at Bitcoin as a currency anymore. Everyone wants to look at it as a store of value, as the HODL narrative. Extract as much USD value as possible out of it. In the regards of HODL, Bitcoin has had mass adoption. You cannot argue that. You cannot argue that, because our numbers, right, since 2017 till today, okay, to today, are close to gold. As a matter of fact, at the rate we're going right now in 2020 with Bitcoin purchases and people getting interested in Bitcoin, I suspect by 2021 that number will be somewhere around 15% of Americans will own Bitcoin, and it will not be because of PayPal. And the reason I'm sharing all this is because I've been in the space long enough to where I've been sold on a false freaking bill of goods. I've been there multiple times. We've all been there if you've been in this space long enough. The idea that big banks or big business and big government, okay, those three right there, bring any true benefit to cryptocurrency, you're wrong. Now, if your full and only intention in this space is to extract as much USD value as possible out of Bitcoin, and you care nothing about its future, you care nothing about its true usage, you care nothing about how it can change the world, and you care nothing about banking the unbanked, all those philosophies mean nothing to you. Bringing in big banks, big businesses, and big government will benefit you over a long period of time. But for those of you who care about Bitcoin being a life-changing vessel, that life-changing code right there, it's truly life-changing. For those of you that care, those three big things can destroy it. I'm telling you, it's not like it'll make it go away, but it'll destroy the fundamentals, destroy the beauty. Mass adoption is already happening. We don't need big business. We just need more awareness. We need more application. We need each other to start using Bitcoin as a currency, guys. But listen, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope some of you guys learned something. If you haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.